Hi there, folks. Thank you so much for your company. In our video lesson today, we're going to learn some vocabulary with the late Christopher Hitchens. By the way, we use the word late as an adjective before someone's name to refer to the fact that they have passed away. They're deceased. Deceased. That could be the first word of the lesson. By the way, all the words, their definitions, and plenty of example sentences will be in the description. I hope you enjoyed the lesson.
It's a questioner, and Christopher Hitchens obviously has got a lot of attention from our audience, and here's a question aimed directly at him.
Here's a question aimed directly at him. His ideas have garnered a lot of attention. He used the word got, which is obviously informal, but you could also use the word garner, which means to attract or to get a lot of attention in this case.
It's from Jessica Langrel.
Just another one to Mr. Hitchens. You typically stereotype religious people as dogmatic and fundamentalists.
No, I don't.
You typically stereotype religious people as dogmatic. A person who is dogmatic is not willing to change their mind. This is often used to refer to religious people with very strict viewpoints, or anyone, for that matter, who's not willing to even consider the opposing viewpoint. So this is definitely a disparaging word. It is a critical word that a lot of people use.
How is this when people who listen to you feel as if you're the one being dogmatic and fundamentalist in your evangelical pursuit to convert the world to atheism?
So this lady is suggesting that Christopher Hitchens is trying to convert the world to atheism. Atheism.
Well, I would have expected more applause for a cheap point like that.
So he cracks a joke there. I would have expected more applause, praise for a cheap point like that. And that sense of humor disarms the audience.
That's more like now, that's more like what I call applause for a joke. I will have to, Tony, put myself in the safekeeping of your audience tonight, here, physically, and those who are watching, and ask them if they really think that's what I do or what I'm like. And that the reason the questions come to me, all of them so far, is not just because of my sexual charisma.
So he cracks another joke there. He says, the reason why I get a lot of questions is not just because of my sexual charisma. It's not just because of the fact that a lot of people find me attractive. It is also because of the merit or the value of perhaps my intellectual capacity and the ideas that I share with others.
But if it was that all this this description of me as dogmatic and my only description of others as being dogmatic was true, then I wouldn't be able to correct it in the time of this show.
Christopher, just getting to the point of why religion still resonates, here's a quote from your book for you to reflect on. Here's
a quote for you to reflect on. When we reflect on an idea, we think about it a bit more deeply. It's always good for us to reflect on our own beliefs, our behavior, so on and so forth.
The sigh of the oppressed creature, the heart of a heartless world. It is the spirit of a spiritless situation.
This is the opiate of the people, quotation goes on. And it goes on even more beautifully to say that...
So that was a disparaging idea, a scathing, a very critical viewpoint with regard to religion.
No, it's not from me. It's not from me. It goes on to say that criticism of religion has plucked the flowers from the chain, not so that men...
Now, the word pluck is to remove something with force, pluck.
And women may wear the chain without consolation, but so that they may break the chain and cull the living flower. It's from Karl Marx. It's the opening of his critique of Hegel's philosophy of right. It's the most misrepresented quotation probably of the 19th century. It's the one where he doesn't say religion is the opium of the people.
But he does.
It's the one that shows that atheists are not dogmatists.
But he does understand, essentially, in making that point, why religion still resonates today.
Why religion still resonates today. When an idea resonates with people, we respond to that particular viewpoint. That we go, that makes sense, or this is sensible. So
he understands why religion is ineradicable, why it's part of the human makeup and personality, and why it's the most interesting argument that we have, because it was our first attempt at philosophy, just as it was our first attempt at healthcare, cosmology, astronomy, and so on. It's the argument that never goes stale.
But I think
it is an idea that never goes stale. It never becomes useless. Stale, you probably are familiar with the word stale when referring to, for instance, a piece of bread. But when ideas don't go stale, they're always fresh.
The strength of your book is that you do concede that religion is ineradicable.
When you do concede that religion is ineradicable. So a couple of words there. Concede is when you acknowledge that a point that someone that you are arguing with has made is valid. This is when you concede. Ineradicable. It cannot be eradicated, cannot be removed or eliminated.
So given that reality, I mean, I come back to the point, why not drop the bagging and smearing, and let's say the solvent is respectful public discourse. We judge things by their fruits, and if there be arguments which are put which are misconceived, then we talk that out.
Okay, hang on.
Father, you're the soul of charity, but I mean, who's been bagging and smearing? And you've said that twice.
Who's been bagging and smearing? This is when you stick someone with a label. To smear, and oftentimes we use this in the context of politics.
No. As if you're sitting there, our only protection against a wave of smearing and bashing. I thought that
his sense of humor is certainly magnificent, and there's a lot that you can learn from his witticism and vocabulary. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. Catch you.